I know I haven't done a burn after writing in a while, and I have multiple reasons for that, but we won't get into that. In the last month and a half, I've done more traveling than I can imagine. I even went to Dubai, which was amazing, even though it was for business and not pleasure, but I still enjoyed myself. And I'm coming to you on this full moon eclipse energy because there is a separation at hand, and I know that we are continuously talking about that, or you may hear it often, but this is serious because now it's physically visible, whereas before it was only noticeable in the supernatural, spiritual realm. You know, I took the weekend to rest and really get my mind right in a space where I just needed to shut people, places, and things out. Just be myself in my own space, not move if I didn't want to. I literally was in bed the whole Saturday. And I really enjoyed it because it allowed me to do something that I hadn't done in a long time, which was watch YouTube videos and go down rabbit holes. And I really needed that because the sensations and energies that I have been feeling on my own, have prohibited me from giving out information, or just prohibited me from giving people energy that I don't have. Like, I genuinely don't have it to give. And it's coming with a lot of backlash. And I know people are like, well, how are you posting on social media, or it's just still active on social media? And people don't realize that I'm not on social media all day. I'm literally on social media probably an hour per day. I do what I need to do and get out. I talk to a lot more people in the DMs than I do anywhere else. I've kind of fell back from posting a lot. I'm just taking time for me. It'll be 5 years on May 1st that I've given so much time, space, and energy to social media and other people. And after a while, it takes a toll on you, which is the reason why I shut down my website, which is the reason why I dissolved the business last year. I just needed to take a step back for me. And I don't care about anyone else at this point. I just really care about myself and just elevating. So back to the whole concept about the separation. I've been noticing that a lot of people are just in such a toxic mindset, and so many people are just completely absorbed by what America is doing. Like, today I was in this coffee shop and I'm sitting there, and there was a homeless lady there, and she had a whole ass dog with her. And I'm like, I don't want to see this. And it's not to say that I don't welcome people with dogs into spaces, but she had an entire suitcase open on the floor with all her shit and like 1,000 books from the library, and her dog wrapped around her chair, just laying there. And I'm like, it appears that you're homeless, but you got a dog. And it makes me think about the guy from The Day After Tomorrow, or something like that. The movie with, I want to say his name is Jake Gyllenhaal. I really don't really know because I really don't care. But it was the one where New York froze because like an ice age started all over again, which probably is going to happen. But whatever. And the guy was homeless and he had a dog. And it makes me laugh because cats could technically fend for themselves. And dogs is just, to me, a liability. You always have to feed them, and people want their dogs to stay close to them. They would rather them stay on a leash than to let them wander, but say it all to say, the conversation that she was having today was just mind-blowing. And she was just talking about how if she was in a room with a whole bunch of people and someone like looked her way and then they were with somebody and they just started talking, let's say I walked in with my friend and me and her was already having a conversation, or me and him was already having a conversation, and we saw her, we both observed and just kept it pushing, her five senses would go crazy and she would automatically think that we were talking about her. And she's expressing this, and her insecurities and her mental illness, and just the fact that she had to grow through that toxicity and immaturity and mental health illness because she realized that everything is not about her. And it's so funny because I feel like that just comes with age. I feel like a lot of times women are just not in a space when they're in their 20s. And she looked like she was in her 20s, which made me really sad, because it's like, what happened that she's homeless? Like, you can't go home. I'm thankful to have had that opportunity to go home whenever I feel like it, whether it be my mom or my dad, if I, inquired. But I've never seen it so blatant in my face like this before. And it just speaks to the homelessness crisis. It just speaks to the mental health crisis. And another thing she brought up was marijuana. And I talked about this on Vocal Dialect, shout out to the crew, that there is a difference between ganja and marijuana. Because, mark my words, I heard this too recently and it just made perfect sense, that eventually marijuana is going to be legal in the whole United States. They need money. They are bankrupt. They've been bankrupt. And they need money. And people are just getting hip to the culture of white supremacy and double taxation and unequal rights, and, the corporation CEOs earning 12,000%, pay as opposed to their employees making the same $45,000-$50,000, so people are getting hip to things that are happening in today's world, and I know this is about to turn back on people. So the difference between marijuana and ganja is that marijuana is now corrupted by government with dispensaries, and it's no longer this pure herb that comes from the ground with medicinal purposes that cause you to have a psychedelic trip, if you will. And when we're no longer getting the authentic version, which is ganja, there is no additives or whatever the fuck. They're not blending strains and calling them Rice Krispie treats. And shout out to Wedding Cake, though, my favorite strain ever in life. But I had to stop smoking because I know the difference. I feel the difference. The chemicals, the weed percentages, the THC percentages, Delta 8. Like, why can I buy Delta 8 over the counter and it still give me a high? Like, there's just so many things that is happening to marijuana, and it's just ridiculous that so many white boys are moving into Jamaica just to grow herb, just so they can, take over this whole process as well. There's just so many things happening on so many native lands that that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But, thinking about what is truly happening right now, that people are addicted to something. And Shorty in the coffee shop was saying the same exact thing. Like, Weed, I used to do it for addictive purposes, and now I use it to cure me or heal me or calm me down. And I'm like, what the fuck is the difference? You're still not healing. You're medicating yourself with marijuana as opposed to a pill that her doctor prescribed to her, because she also mentioned the same thing. So I'm like, I just think that it's sad that everybody has to be high off of something in order to function. And this is how the zombie apocalypse will be birthed. Legalizing a form of drug. Now everybody's going to be walking around high as fuck. People are going to be putting God knows what inside of these weeds and blunts and things. You know, it used to be cool to have a cipher and just smoking, you know, just being confident that they got some good herb, you know what I mean? But now you have no idea what people are lacing this stuff with. It's going to be so important for people to get clear, because with the sun heating up, y'all, I'm a broken record. With the sun heating up, it's going to be so powerful this summer, this year. The weather anomalies, just the things that are going to be happening. And then people are going to be high. Like, 2025 is going to be a wild year for many, 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 many reasons. But the karma has to be cleared first. And that's what this 2024 8 year is all about. 2 plus 2 plus 4 is 8. And that's what this year is all about. And too many people are asleep. They're not realizing what is taking place here. They just revealed that Jesus was black. We knew this already. And if y'all didn't know that, may the Lord bless you. Because at this point, there's no secret that can be kept, whether if it's spiritual, physical, with your baby daddy. Like, shit is coming out, bro. You understand me? Things are coming out. People need to be taking DNA tests on their kids. People need to be looking into family histories and research and calling people out for shit that they did. Like, people need to reap what they've sown, okay? Yes, you may have planted some seeds and you're like, why isn't this shit growing? It is not time yet. I dislike the term divine timing more than anybody on the planet, I'm sure. There's probably a group of us that lock arms with divine timing, right? And that is a situation where you're planting a seed and divine timing is 100% genuinely at play, because you cannot reap a harvest if you do not clear out the weeds first, because the weeds will take over and you will not see a harvest. Think of it as the Lord clearing out the weeds so that you can reap your harvest. Because I'm telling you right now, my level of impatience for my husband is at an all-time high. I do not want to play this corporate game any longer, not 1 second more. I genuinely don't. And at the same time, I'm being awarded with greater position and greater opportunities to excel at the same time. And it's like, which do you really want more? Do you want the husband or do you want the money? And then I had another revelation over the weekend where this guy was like, the rabbit hole guy that I was watching. He was like, money belongs to a numerical system that we did not create. And it is so evil that it forces people to chase it while forfeiting happiness. And one thing I can tell you, the only time that I was happy with money is when I invested it in the stock market, because you could physically watch your shit grow and there is no cooler trick ever. But I can say that I've never allowed money to put me in a position where I need to have this power over others or feel superior to others because I can get this and they cannot. Bro, I will shop anywhere for clothes. It really does not bother me because I'm still going to fly it. Like, we just going to finesse that in a way that nobody cannot, only me. Do you understand? So I don't care where I shop for clothes. I like what I like. So that's never been a thing for me. I got into labels at one time and I quickly stopped because I learned about the stock market, and then shoes, I had a problem. Love, love, love shoes. I couldn't get enough of it. Now I probably have like 8 to 10 pairs and I'm like, all right, you got enough, because the last time I checked, at one point you had like 80 and you gave them all away. I'm embracing this minimalism lifestyle. I did this huge cleaning yesterday of my space, of my living quarters, as I keep saying. And I'm like, we need to flush some stuff out. I threw out a whole bunch of things that I no longer wanted that energy attached to me. And I just threw it out. No, I'm not donating these things. Another set, I just was like, listen, tags on them for days. A lot of them, pants I can no longer fit because this ass is no longer a size 2. And I'm like, I'm just gonna give it away, and I'm really embracing where I am right now, because that is a minimalism lifestyle. Whenever you're in a space to give, do it. Whenever you're in a space to declutter, do it. Whenever you feel like you've accumulated too many things, that means that it's time to flush out the old. Look into your closet. Whatever you're no longer using, just give it away. This is a period of shedding. This is a period of separation. You cannot ascend to 5D high. Trust me, boo. Nobody smoked more than me in the last 5 years. I promise you. I promise you. Last year was the first time I said, damn, I really love weed a lot. But weed is one thing that causes me to not want to work for anybody. And while I understand that I love money because it allows me to pump money into the stock market and watch it grow, I believe in longevity, legacy, and retiring my parents. So while it does not run me, I see its purpose in investing in the stock market. I'm just a stock market person. That's just how I love to do life. So do I want to beef up my stock portfolio by taking on this corporate job, or do I want to smoke weed every day and do yoga and work for Free as Fuck University? While both are equally rewarding, one gets me to my goal a lot faster. And unfortunately, that is by working in the corporate trap. So what is my point in saying all of this? It is a separation. At some point, I'm going to have to choose which makes me happier. I'm going to choose Free as Fuck University. Like, bro, I just talked about how my husband needs to come pick me up tomorrow, like ASAP, rapido. I'm not in a space right now where money can run my life. It allows me to have amazing memories. It allows me to have a great stock portfolio. It's allowed me in my past to travel so much, and I love that for myself. But at this point of separation where we are as a collective, as a people, there's too much division, especially amongst the Black and brown community, or the Black and indigenous people of color. Whatever you want to call us, kings and queens, gods and goddesses, there's too much division among us right now as a people, and we really need to remember what happened 100 years ago during this time in the 1920s. What did that look like? What happened during that period? Black men were attempting to, and I really want to stop saying black, people of color, kings, were attempting to obtain the right to vote. They were, wanting equal rights with their white cohorts. Slavery was still there, but they were equally trying to fight for, their rights in free states. And women chose to leave their men behind and wanted to go out in the workforce and be equal. And I see comments on social media all the time like, oh, women want equal rights and now you want to sit home and do nothing. And then men are mad that women are always with their hand out. Like, what can you do for me? Can you pay my bills? Can you pay my telephone bill? Can you pay my automobile? And if you can't, fuck off, because I don't want no scrubs. We heard these songs our whole life. But all it was telling you, all it was a call of action. It was telling you, men, step up to the plate. Women need a provider and a protector. If you cannot be a provider and a protector and all you want to do is be a fuckboy that wants to slang his D all around the town, bro, I'm going to look at you with the ill face. Like, y'all know the meme with Chris Brown and Rihanna. Like, no, I don't even want to talk to you at this point. If you're operating in your low vibrational state, if you're operating from low chakras, I don't even want to talk to you. The last time sex ran my life, I had to be like 24 years old. Like, no capping. Like, it's never been important to me. And a lot of people get in relationships and are like, oh, I'm going to have free sex all the time. And then they get mad that their spouse is withholding it from them, not realizing that this is a sacred practice. It's called sacred energy exchange. It's not meant to be misused. And too many people are misusing it. And then procreating and having children or getting with women alleging that they want relationships, knowing that you're about to awaken someone's love and you're not even in a position to awaken her love because that's not what you want, And I just think there's just so many unbalanced situations right now within the community when we need to just be coming together in love and revolting against the government. This has nothing to do with anything else. And we cannot win a war against people, against humanity, if we are constantly bickering amongst ourselves. We really genuinely need to come together. And this is why I say a separation is at hand. They're intentionally doing this. And I don't see any other race or group that's doing this. It's only in the people of color community. This is not by mistake. This is all by design. And what's so interesting is that they know that their time is up. Their time was up from 2020 when that 400-year curse was broken. And we're reaching a new cycle, walking into the Aquarian age, 6,000-year cycle complete. And now we're walking into a new era. No one on this earth has ever lived for a time such as this. There's so many things happening on an astrological level. You have to ascend. You have to be lighter. I tried to eat light all day, but then I went into the gym today and I'm like, I need some carbs and some protein, to do my life work. And I'm like, how do I get to be vegan while actively training in the gym with a trainer? So I want to be lighter again. I want to be vegan, but I don't want to look like a bobblehead. Like, how am I going to be able to do these things as well? Because the lighter you are, the greater you will ascend. It is encouraged to only be outside during the eclipse if you are light as possible. So now I'm like, damn, I gotta go on a whole ass detox to get as light as possible, because not to say that I want to be outside during an eclipse. I just want to be able to ascend to higher realms, so I continue to bestow my knowledge and my energy upon people. You know, I feel like some people are rooted in evil, and I believe that other people are rooted in light. And we are just at a time right now where you have to really pick a side. You have to pick a side. And if you want to get biblical, Jesus in Revelation said, you cannot be lukewarm. You have to be hot or cold. You have to pick a side. You cannot dabble in the middle. So my point is, put down the drugs, put down the alcohol, put down the pills, put down the lean, put down the weed, put down the cocaine. Just put it all down, the shrooms. They want y'all so dependent on these items that you can't even function without them. I'm at the weed shop recently, in December, when I realized I live in a state that was recreational legal, wild time. And they let all the medicinal patients go in first, and I'm like, this is interesting. I just want some wedding cake. It's holiday season. I want to live a life. And I wasn't even a crazy smoker, just to kind of give you a quick background. I would smoke an eighth a month. And like, people used to clown me, like, how, bro? What are you doing? Taking a puff or a day? I'm like, yeah, I don't need this. And even that would have me on woozy for like 3 hours. Like, I don't need this to allow me to function in life. And I think that sometimes people don't realize that you can heal yourself. Everything you need is within you. At night, when you lay your head at your pillow, what voices do you hear? Your own. It's just you and source energy, and that is it. Whomever your creator may have been, sure, you came through a portal, but that was just to get here to the earth side. You are now here. You cannot waste your life away off of drugs. If you know that you know that you know you have a purpose on this planet, please do not allow that purpose to leave you because all of a sudden you're addicted to some substance that you don't even need. I'm tired of looking around and seeing people in a zombie-like state and with hoodies on and they face got all of those holes and all that kind of shit. And like, bro, I'm constantly looking over my shoulder because I don't trust y'all. And if you roll up, I'm fucking you up on sight. So I don't know. I don't like it. I don't feel safe. And unfortunately, it's everywhere. It's not even just my city. Do you know what I mean? That shit is everywhere. People are literally walking zombies and the shit is about to get worse. And what's going to happen is the people who are choosing light will have to go indoors, will have to be silent. You wouldn't even be able to help anyone. You'd really just have to observe and watch. We are walking in a time such as I Am Legend. Like, that is a real life movie. These people are only going to come out at nighttime. It's about to be so bad. May the Lord be with you.